final score, Exeter City 0, Wrexham 2, and this was a very pleasing performance and result. I think we got a very clear insight here into what Phil Parkinson's looking to achieve in the latter stages of this season. He's put together a really hard-nosed, professional, experienced side, and they can dig in and get strong performances in matches like this. Exeter were in form, unbeaten in 6. 5 clean sheets out of 8 after reshaping their defence. Their defence was badly affected by injuries around Christmas and January, and they were in a horrible mess. In fact, the 8 games before they reshaped it, they were in an average of 3 goals a game. They've completely changed that defensive setup, and it's worked for them. But we came along and we overwhelmed them, in all honesty. We were too good. And we were solid as well in the way that we achieved it. No changes from the side that beat Stockport County, and we started very brightly. And one of the big characteristics of this performance was that we really were in their faces. We pressed so hard in their half, put them under an awful lot of pressure, and it was difficult for them really to deal with that and get the ball forwards accurately. They've gone a bit more direct than they were before, and they weren't getting an awful lot of time to actually lift those balls in behind our defence accurately. We were hassling and hurrying them, and we had the first chance of the match. Matty James had a really good game, and he put his mark on it in the first 10-15 minutes. He ripped a terrific switch across to the right-hand side. Wrexham were moving the ball around nice and quickly. Longman had it ripped across into the goalmouth, a nasty cross, difficult to defend, and Whitworth had to attack it and just beat Smith to it at the near post. The ball ricochets across the face of goal, drops in the end for Rathbone, and Rathbone drills in the shot from close range, which is blocked. I can't quite tell from the replay whether it's Rodriguez blocking it or whether it's a defender turns, but as it is, whoever got the block on saves a goal, no question about that. So Wrexham's so close to a very fast start and an early lead, and we continue to put this pressure on. It looked good, and in the 23rd minute we got the breakthrough, although I've got to say we had some good fortune with it. Brunt does really well breaking over the halfway line and then looking to add some pace into attack by drilling a pass to Longman. Longman does really well because he's really alert. Purrington, the left wing back, who was given a rough ride by Longman, looks to be favoured to get there first, but Longman accelerates, just nips in ahead of him. It's great anticipation, and he sweeps the ball across to the left. McLean pulls it back to Rathbone. Rathbone rips the ball into the box. It takes a deflection off Turns' head, and the keeper's absolutely helpless. 1-0 to Wrexham. Rathbone's 6th goal of the season, equaling the most he's ever scored in a season. Was it a shot? Was it a cross? No, 100%. I think it's a cross and a pass rather, and a very good one. He's about 25 yards out, and he sweeps it in. He's looking to put it over Turns' head to play Rodriguez in. Rodriguez made a great run, and it's a very difficult pass to try. It's a very straight pass to try, but he's inches short of making it and putting Rodriguez clear on goal. The reason he doesn't make it is because Turns has got to try and stretch and make some contact because he knows the pass is good, and he deflects a pass to keep it. Now, to be fair to Exeter, they showed heart, and like I said, they were quite direct. Yogan on one side and Pat Jones, ex-Wrexham youth player, on the other, were looking lively as they tried to cut inside and cause problems, and they did manage to put pressure on. Like I said, they were looking to turn our defence, going long and then winning second balls higher up the pitch, trying to grind us down, and they did make some half chances in the rest of the half, which was played more on their terms. Yogan starting her off, sweeping in across from the left-hand side. Excellent header by O'Connell, just about beating his man to it and bravely putting his head in there to get it away. Purrington picks it up 10 yards out, drills in a shot. Cleworth makes a really good block. But from the corner, the ball swept to the far post. Okonkwo certainly looks like he's been grabbed hold of. He does ever so well to full stretch punch the ball away because he's being held on to. The ball drops for Colwell, though, and he drills it straight in, and it's a superb superb save by Okonkwo. Just really quick hands, reflexes, getting his hands up above his head and managing to push it away. Strong wrists as well. Super work from him. The ball's hacked away for a throw-in. They had a few chances to use the long throw-in that they've got from Hartridge, who's on loan from Wycombe, funnily enough. He hurls it in to the near post. O'Connell heads it clear. It looks like the danger's passing, but McLean, rather than hook it away, tries to run it behind for the goal kick, and it hits his body and falls kindly for Hartridge. Hartridge cutting inside, drills in a powerful shot from an angle, hits it, takes a deflection. Okonkwo is helpless this time. It soars over his head, but it goes over the bar, luckily for Wrexham as well. And in the last minute of the half, Exeter put some more pressure on. This is self-inflicted. Dobson does really well with Rodriguez on the right-hand side in midfield to win the ball back and find a little bit of space. And Dobson's idea is very good. He's looking to switch the ball, and he's got a couple of options. He's got Brunt or Rathbone. Unfortunately for Wrexham, he puts his pass right in between them, and Pat Jones anticipates really quickly, gets onto it, and his surge of pace, plus the fact that the pass has caught Brunt and Rathbone out, means that Jones can just surge between them, and suddenly he's one-on-one with Okonkwo, or so it appears. But O'Connell does brilliant to run across. He doesn't actually play the ball, but it's an outstanding piece of defending. He comes across and he just forces Jones wide until the angle is such that he doesn't bother taking the shot on. It's a brilliant piece of central defensive enforcing by O'Connell. So Wrexham value for the lead at half-time. We have maybe our scariest moment of the second half, 4 minutes in. It's Yogan on the left-hand side from a short corner, sweeping it into the box. Brunt does well twice to win headers in the goalmouth. He gets his head on a lot of set pieces. Purrington gets to the loose ball, tries to drill in the shot, and Cleworth is able to block him off. This is all happening in the box, a bit of a scramble, but then Wrexham break. Rodriguez picks up on the edge of the area, fabulous pass by him out wide to Smith, who accelerates down the flank, looks to drill it into the goalmouth, and Rodriguez has kept up with him. Great running by him, and luckily Smith's dangerous ball in is just beyond his reach, and McDonald, who's also tracked Rodriguez, is able to get back and make the intervention. But then we take a grip from this point onwards. Just before the hour, we nearly get a fluke goal. Ball dropping in the 6-yard box. Hartridge turns to clear. Longman has charged him down, and it hits Longman and flies with decent pace on target. It's an easy catch for Whitworth, but it could have gone either side of him. It was only about 6 yards out. It could have been a fluke goal. Anyway, Wrexham do get the breakthrough on the hour. It's controversial, but I've got to say, I think Exeter absolutely shoot themselves in the foot over this. I've got to say first, I said in the commentary, and I want to repeat it just to make the point, the build-up to it is exactly why Parkinson brought Longman, Smith and Rodriguez in, because the three of them combine beautifully. Longman on the right does really well to control the ball under pressure, not panic, and feed a good pass to Rodriguez. Beautiful first-time pass by Rodriguez. I mean, these two, it's just all about technique in this move. They both did ever so well. And Rodriguez, just a lovely punched first-time pass. It had to be accurate to find Smith. It does find Smith down the line. Smith backs in really powerfully, won't back down, and in the end is pushed to the ground. It's a free kick to Wrexham. And here's where Exeter shoot themselves in the foot. It's about 30 yards out the free kick, if that. They've got a wall. The defensive line is level with the wall. It's so high. It's astonishing. I really can't quite work out what they were thinking of. There's so much space in behind him. It is so tempting. I just can't understand. They need to drop 5 at least. They don't. Rathbone does a sensible, correct thing. He feeds it into that gap. Surprise, surprise, Rodriguez has made that run from deep. He's onside and he's in on goal. Actually, his first touch is a little bit heavy. It's not the easiest take, but is a little heavy, forces him wide, but he's still one-on-one with the keeper. McMillan is desperately trying to get back, his marker, because Rodriguez has got him behind him. Rodriguez hits the deck, the ref gives the penalty. And I've got to say, right, firstly, I thought the referee was very good, actually, Alex Chilovich. He's the American referee who's came over last year and didn't have a good game when he was in charge with us at Salford, but he was very good in this match, I thought. he gives the penalty. I absolutely can see why at the time it looked to me like the most cast iron penalty. I couldn't understand why Exeter were complaining. Having looked at the replays, though, I don't think it's a penalty, if I'm honest with you. I'm not 100%, but I've been going through this frame by frame for quite a while just to try and exactly work out what was going on. Rodriguez gets him behind McMillan. McMillan rather lunges in. It's not a tidy challenge, but I don't think he makes contact with Rodriguez. He sort of steps into it. It's an awkward. It's a sort of challenge that usually gets you into trouble. He sort of steps awkwardly into it. But I think there's daylight between him and Rodriguez's leg, just about. At the time, I thought, ooh, very clear, heavy trip. But the contact, I think, is that Rodriguez trips over his own foot as he's trying to get past McMillan. There may be contact on Rodriguez to knock his leg onto the other leg, in which case I'd say it is a penalty. I'm not convinced there is, but it's not conclusive. That would actually be McMillan's standing foot, not the foot that goes stretching in and trying to reach a ball that he's nowhere near reaching. So it's self-inflicted because that high line just gave us an easy ball into the box to set up a chance. It's self-inflicted because McMillan is looking desperate and, all right, he's got to make a split-second decision. He tries to step in when he really shouldn't do. He's offered the opportunity of a penalty by lunging in like that, but I don't think he does make contact. I think we're lucky we get the decision. Anyway, Rodriguez steps up after the drama from the penalty last week, of course. You know, it's a brave thing to do. In the warm-up, I was watching the shooting practice and Rodriguez ripped a fabulous strike just inside the left post with his right foot, just ripping it away from the goalkeeper. He does the same from the penalty spot. It's a hell of a good penalty. No one's going to save that. It's struck well. It's over halfway up, which makes it statistically almost impossible to save it. And the keeper goes the wrong way anyway. It's a hell of a good penalty. And Wrexham are 2-0 up, and it's over, really, for the last half hour. We look very comfortable. There's only one side looks like it's going to score, in all honesty, and it's us. Our defence is rock solid, and we are breaking forwards, and we threaten to get the third. Stephen Fletcher comes on for Rodriguez with 18 minutes left, and he puts in a good performance up front as well. Longman stands a ball into the box. Smith flicking it on nicely. Fletcher keeps the ball moving edge of the area, feeds in Rathbone, and Rathbone drills in a shot which is saved sharply by Whitworth. Within a minute, another chance on the right hand side. Longman putting in a tremendous cross. Smith hurls himself at it, and Whitworth just acrobatically manages to lunge and arrive first and pour the ball away. Spectacular piece of action. Great ball by Longman. Barnett comes on to replace Longman with 7 minutes left, and soon afterwards it's Fletcher on the left hand side. His first being pulled all over the place, but he brilliantly manages to wriggle between the two players who are grabbing hold of him. He's clear on goal, but it's an almost impossible angle, but he strikes it so cleanly, and Whitworth is forced into the save. It's a lovely hit by Fletcher. And as we continue through into the last 10 minutes, it continues to be Wrexham putting on the pressure. McLean sweeping the ball in to the far post. Fletcher's able to retrieve the ball, brings it back. Rathbone on the corner of the box, left-hand side. There's such a crowd around him. He and Cleworth played the most fantastic 1-2. First time return ball by Cleworth is perfect. Rathbone takes the shot on, hits it first time across the keeper. Whitworth gets down well done to his left-hand side to save it. Elliot Lee comes on up front to relieve Sam Smith with 3 minutes left, and the last chance of the match comes to Wrexham. It's the ball from a corner, swept in by Rathbone. Fletcher at the far post loses his man, but from 6 yards out, stretching, he just can't get on top of the header, and it goes over the bar. Wrexham win 2-0. Wrexham look convincing, and with the other sides around us winning as well, important that we didn't lose any ground. It's a big, big win. And now, okay, it's testing to go to Cambridge on Tuesday. 2 long trips in a row, but after that there are no long trips. We'll have ticked off all the midweek matches, if you don't count the Easter weekend, which isn't really. We will have done all the long tracks, and we will be able to focus on just being ruthless in the running as we were last year with this experienced, hard-nosed squad, many of whom have already gone through a run-in successfully last year. Looking at the performances, Okonkwo, and by the way, his 31st clean sheet in 70 games for Wrexham. Woof. He's only letting 58 goals in 70 games, which is the best ratio of goals conceded per minute of any goalkeeper in Wrexham's history, going back to 1864, by the way. Not bad. And you can see why here. Totally confident and dominant in the air. That brilliant save after he'd been fouled, but still dealt with a cross. And his massive kicks actually asked quite a lot of questions of Exeter. Oh, the thing I forgot to mention, it was windy. It wasn't like super windy, knocking you over and forcing the team into their own penalty area windy. But it was windy, and it did affect the game. I thought it made it difficult to defend, and Exeter looked uncomfortable when Okonkwo was knocking long balls. Their centre-backs were making mistakes in the air on balls you'd normally expect to win. I think it's simply because the ball was moving around a bit in the air. Like I said, it wasn't a massive amount, but just a little bit. It's like a cricket, isn't it? You know, when you're bowling, you don't want it to swing a long, long way. You just need to swing about an inch so that it catches the edge of the bat. You don't want it to go flying off towards the slips. This is what it was like, just a bit of movement that just made defenders correct at the last moment. It may not be helped by the fact that there's a big gap in Exeter's stadium, because a mainline rail line cuts almost onto the corner flag, so they can't build anything on that part of the pitch, and so it's open to the elements, and maybe the winds, because it seemed to affect them more in the first half, was just cutting in there. It didn't seem to bother Wrexham centre-backs, it's got to be said. Speaking of whom, all of them were excellent. Brunt was just getting on the end of all the set pieces. He was tremendous. When you see people on TV, ex-pros going, oh, zonal marking, oh, it's stupid that, which they only ever say when a team lets a goal in while zonal mark, and they don't say it after the umpteen corners where a team does that and it works. Well, this was the reason why. You got Brunt, who can leap like anything, and you stand him in at the heart of the 6-yard box where you want him to be to attack the balls in, and he just comes and clears everything out. It's Exeter. I saw that their manager, Gary Caldwell, was saying that they were unlucky. Well, they weren't, I've got to be honest. But he was saying that because they had a lot of set pieces. Yeah, but Brunt headed them all away. He didn't do anything with your set pieces. They did, absolutely. A lot of long throws as well, which are more predictable to see where they're going to go. And Brunt was on the end of anything. He was absolutely tremendous. In the centre of the centre-backs, O'Connell likewise. Again, we know how much he loves defending that central area in the box in open play. He made a couple of fantastic headers to get the ball clear. It's like the one I mentioned before, which was a proper cross from Ugan. And Cleworth, again, just had everything secured on his patch, you know. Nobody was going to cause him any problems defensively. He was in complete control of everything, and got forwards well in support of Longman. Put a couple of decent balls into the box as well. The back three, all outstanding. But it tells you something about the team's performance that, as you'll hear in a moment, everybody was really impressive. Although I was tempted, and all three had a case, I didn't make any of the centre-backs man of the match. I'll get to that in a minute. Wing-backs. On the right-hand side, Longman was very, very good again. Oh, he's settling into it now, isn't he? He's really looking good. Quality of his crosses was good. He was constantly getting down the flank into dangerous positions. Purrington had a rough ride against him. And as well, he does, as I've said before, he does look solid defensively. First match I wasn't so sure, but yeah, he knows what he's doing. A really good performance by Longman. So technically he's a good player. McLean, was that his best game of the season? Maybe not quite. There have been games where he's really hurt sides, isn't it? But this was a very impressive performance by McLean, I thought. He was rock solid. He took on the physical nature of the challenge really well. He was driving forwards. You know, Jones is a testing player to have on his flank, but he was really robust in how he dealt with him. And I was really impressed with McLean. He sort of summed up that strength in the performance, the resolve of the performance. And after his unpleasant experiences against Stockport, yeah, he's just got straight back in there. That's about professionalism. He was in control of his domain. Central midfield, that's where I've put the man of the match. I did contemplate Dobson, George Dobson, I thought, did really well, and especially in the first half, his tackling. Well, maybe not just in the first half. His tackling was ferocious. He used the ball well, and he was really on it. He was so competitive. I was impressed with Dobson. He made a big impact on the middle of the pitch, as did Rathbone, who was constantly busy, constantly driving forwards. It was a genuine goal threat, quite apart from his shot. And his pressing again with Smith. The two of them just trigger presses and everyone else piles in with it. And Wrexham's pressing was superb. Dobson played a big part in that as well. For me, man of the match, Matty James, though. I thought his quality on the ball was superb. It's just so fun watching him, just a little look up over his shoulder. Oh, yeah, just checking who's everywhere, bang, bang, and bang, pings that early accurate pass. He was shifting the ball out, switching play. That's how the first goal starts up, as we're really sort of stretching. It was the opening chance, which nearly led to a goal, wasn't it, in the 3rd minute? But he was excellent. He just looked what he is, a player who has played all his career at a higher level than this. He was superb. Up front, again, I thought I was really pleased with Rodriguez. He scores again, of course, but again, just his intelligence, little moments of technique, like the breakaway that he inspired and then Naylor got on the end of Smith's cross. There was an attempted pass, and he's done this a few times actually. There was an attempted pass in the first half, which was just astonishing. He had such a picture of the pitch. It came to him, he just instantly whipped the ball, looking to put Longman in round the back of the defence. Purrington was able to stretch and intercept. But Rodriguez, I mean, it's for me, a big part of what I like about Rodriguez is that he thought of it. Who's thinking of this idea? And yet he's, before it's arrived, thinking, I reckon Longman, if he's doing his job, Longman will be there. I'm just going to tear it at him. And if it got through, it would have been a pass of the season. He also played a lovely little no-look pass as well to set up a shooting opportunity. I enjoyed Rodriguez. I thought it was a good performance that he put in. I did say in the commentary, I would have been I know there's a game on Tuesday, and that's the most important thing. But to make a statement, and with the game looking comfortable, I almost thought, should you leave Rodriguez on and bring Smith off first? That is, as you'll see in a moment, no comment on Smith at all, just to say to Rodriguez, well done, mate. You've had a sort of roughish start, but I'm very happy with you. I'm sure you said Parkinson's telling you that anyway. And like I said, that is no comment on Smith, because once again, that guy, he's a proper striker, isn't he? He's so good. He leads the line so well. Like I said, he sets the tempo, triggering presses. He puts so much pressure on. He runs the channels and the flanks brilliantly. On another day, he'd have had a couple. He had a goal disallowed for offside, which he finished superbly. It did look well offside, mind. And he nearly got on the end of a couple of really tempting crosses, because he just keeps doing the right things. He keeps making those runs, attacking the 6-yard box when players are out wide, and he just keeps doing that. Again, I remember when Palmer and McFadden came in the transfer window, the first transfer window under Phil Parkinson, at mid-season one, that is. I remember thinking, this looks like a team where he's just put the last bits of the jigsaw puzzle together. A big striker who likes crosses and a wing back who likes crossing. And you could immediately see the first game together was against Boreham Wood in the trophy, and the two of them were terrific. McFadden ends up with an assist, Palmer ends up with a goal, and it looked good, and things slotted in. I feel the same a bit when you got Smith, who's very good at attacking the 6-yard box, and then we've got Longman, whose quality of delivery is very, very good. I like how we're set up. It's good. The subs, well, Lee didn't have much chance to do much, but he did actually work very hard and used the ball well. Barnett made some good defensive interventions. He didn't have long on the pitch either, to be fair, but he did that well. And Fletcher came on, and Fletcher gave us another fun cameo. His quality again, his technique when he struck that tight angle shot, it was so powerful. And luckily, no real angle, so it has to be pretty much at the keeper. But it was good efforts, and yeah, his wriggle to get through to that, yeah, it was class once more. This was a really good all-round performance. As I said in the commentary, everybody was at least 7.5 out of 10. Great stuff. Big test on Tuesday. I know Cambridge are looking like they're going to be relegated, but they have been fighting hard against it. They're not going to give up. And they'll see this as a chance to get a famous win as well, won't they? So, yeah, big test for us. But this side is really digging deep and fighting, and equalled the record, I beg your pardon, I forgot. Equalled the club record for the most league clean sheets in a season. And there's still 8 games left. Good Lord. Not bad. I'm happy. The final score of Exeter City 0, Wrexham 2. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.